Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 10-minute mailbag. I apologize if over the course of this video you hear some or some coughs or sneezes. I'm feeling a tad under the weather, just a little bit. Not enough to slow me down here. This, of course, is the MLB The Show series in which I take your questions from YouTube and Discord, and I answer them, because it's a mailbag, and that's what one does when there's mail. You read it, and then you pay your bills. Don't ignore those. But this is the mailbag. These are your questions. Let's do it. As per the usual, I am putting 10 minutes on the clock on my phone, so I will time us here. Just so everyone is aware, a deeper conversation about last week's content is going to be on tomorrow's podcast episode. Tuesday, every Tuesday, the show, the podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever else I guess you can listen to podcasts. There might be times during this 10-ish minutes that I touch on some of the content. There will be a deeper dive on it tomorrow. I wanted to play it. I wanted to ingest it. I wanted to see how it was playing out to finally form like an actual strong opinion about it. So if you guys are looking for that, come back tomorrow. But either way, here we go. 3, 2, 1, begin. First question today comes from Jeff G. How do you transition from All-Star to Hall of Fame? I mash on All-Star, but once I get to Hall of Fame, my timing and PCI are both horrible. Love this question, because it's an honest question, and it's a question that a lot of people struggle with, or it's a topic that a lot of people would have some stake in. So, I, too, was once this person. There are a lot of unknown factors in this question that I am not aware of. Like, do you play on a TV or a monitor? If you play on a TV, I suggest you switch to a monitor or see if you can. You don't have to buy a $1,000 monitor. I play currently on like a $200 one. There are ones even cheaper than that. The most important thing is that it's a 1 millisecond response time and that it's compatible with your console. But the second thing, and it requires no monetary value, it just requires time, is you're going to hop out of Diamond Dynasty. You're going to go to Custom Practice, which I've probably... there it is. I always skip past it. Custom Practice is right here. You're going to choose whomstever you'd like to choose. Go ahead. Sure, fine. Pick a stadium. Okay, enter the mode. And I know you want to practice, or I know you want to get better on Hall of Fame. But we're going to have you bump up one level past that. Okay? Instead... well, don't do GOAT. I practice on GOAT because I play on Hall of Fame. Practice on Legend. Practice on Legend. Legend offline is probably going to be similar to Hall of Fame online. And then just take some hacks. Just take hacks. Swing away. You could do my very precise method of practicing, which I've made a video on before. But you go to practice type, you pick batting, pick whoever you want. It could be Ohtani, Grisham, whatever you want. Turn everything off except fastballs. And we're getting fastballs down the pee-pee hole. This is the only place I want it. I don't want to focus on PCI movement right now. I just want to focus on timing. So once we get timing in a place that we feel good... was that underneath the middle part? It was a little bit. Once you get your timing down, because that'll take a few hacks. Now I'm behind it, as you can see. I just woke up. I'm warming up myself right now. So this is a fun exercise for me. Once you get your timing down... okay, that wasn't phenomenal, but it was good enough. Then you go back to your, oh, you can't do it here. Ay, come on. Now you go back, practice type, batting. Let's mix in some high stuff. You know, fastballs only, high stuff. Now we're working on moving up. We're starting in the middle, because we don't want to cheat. Cheating will eliminate all your practicing you're doing. And we move up to go get it. We just practice our PCI placement. Doing practice this way, where you're guaranteeing yourself fastballs in the zone, will eliminate a lot of time wasted practicing on Hall of Fame or Legend against opponents, or practicing on Hall of Fame or Legend against the computer. Because the computer's going to throw a lot of balls, especially in like Conquest and stuff, because the pitchers aren't very high rated. This is just allowing you to maximize your time taking swings. You're not wasting anything. Clearly, I'm horrible right now, but I also hate facing Ohtani. This is good practice for everybody, by the way. Not just if you're working on All-Star to Hall of Fame. This is good practice for if you're the best player on the planet Earth. You should be taking swings. And then the second part of this equation, which is really a mental thing. And it's not something you can fabricate or set up for yourself in practice. You have to tell yourself to be patient. And that is so easier said than done. I'm not going to claim that I am the most patient hitter on earth. I get swing happy just like we all do. But setting yourself up in advantageous counts, or really paying attention to what your opponent is doing on the mound, and then knowing like, oh, there's a good chance this pitch is coming next, and then getting it and capitalizing on it and hitting it, that's automatically going to make you a better player. Yes, the PCI might be smaller on Hall of Fame. Yes, the pitch speeds might be a little faster on Hall of Fame. But you are making yourself better by putting yourself in a better count to hit. I did a video on this also a few weeks ago. Trying to do the 15 pitch challenge is going to make you better. That's where, in any game mode, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame, legend, or the big nasty scary GOAT, you should be trying to have your opponent throw at least 15 pitches in an inning. That means taking pitches. That means, fouling some stuff off. That means getting some hits and stringing together some rallies. By doing that, not only obviously is your opponent's pitcher getting tired, but you are seeing more pitches, you are learning about the zone, you are picking up tendencies, and you're putting yourself in a position to succeed. So, some of the information I just gave you is tangible, like this custom practice, but some of it is a mindset. And it's all up to you at that point. But I have full faith that you can do it. If you mash on All-Star, it is not as big a jump as you think to go to Hall of Fame. Legend from Hall of Fame, massive jump. GOAT from Legend, it's stupid jump. All-Star to Hall of Fame, I know the PCI shrinks a considerable amount. I promise you it's not as scary as you think. You can do it. So, Jeff, good luck with your progress. Next question comes from Zach. Zach, by the way, is a writer for the Show Gazette, my MLB The Show website. We have slowed down a little bit with content as all of our busy years in our actual careers have kind of like blended together. Don't worry, we're still here. We will be firing on all cylinders shortly. How do you feel about the relative lack of secondary positions this year? Do you feel it guides lineups to be more true to form or removes too much flexibility in lineup construction? I like it and I don't like it. So I like it because, yes, like, let's be frank with ourselves. This is going to upset the community. I don't think Kyle Schwarber should have catcher secondary anymore. It's been a long time since he's caught. Now, if you give us a throwback card from the years in which he caught, yes, I am all about it. Currently all about it. Yes, absolutely. But if it's live series Kyle Schwarber, he ain't catching, which he's not, thankfully. And it hasn't been like that for a few years. That's an extreme example. I'm just using that because it's top of mind. As you can see here, I am playing someone out of position. I'm playing Ken Griffey Jr. in right field. He has not killed me there yet, though I always have defensive help ready in the form of Pete Crow Armstrong. And when that happens, I switch Pete into center field and Beltran into right. I see the path. I see the reason as to why they limited secondaries. The power creep, in theory, if it works correctly, should be giving us plenty of players at plenty of positions all throughout the course of every content drop. Say what you want about the content. Again, we're going to talk about that tomorrow in the podcast, but there have been a lot of players dropped at a lot of positions. Are they all high-level top tier? No, but there have been a lot of options, so at least I can give them that. What I don't like about it is some of the, weird choices about it. I am of the opinion that Ken Griffey Jr., who obviously, one of the best center fielders of all time, he played center field because he was that good at it, especially during this 1992 All-Star season. In 1992, as a 22-year-old, he was playing center field, so he has no secondaries. I would argue, as someone who played center field myself, if you play center, you could play the corners. That's just my theory. There are some real-life examples in which maybe that's wrong, because Jason Dominguez on the Yankees is a center fielder. He's been playing left, and he's been playing left better, but it's looked a little funky. The angles are different. The ball comes off the bat differently for sure, but if you're the center fielder is supposed to be the best defensive outfielder. If you're the best defensive outfielder, you could play the corners. So that's where some of my distaste for lack of secondaries comes from. But the next question, and I bleed it into this last one because it's kind of about the same thing. Might be a dumb. This is from Star Wars Gamer. Might be a dumb question, but like using an outfielder out of position, like me using Griffey in a place other than center, could I put a highly rated infielder, Chase Headley, at second base or shortstop with little to no drawback? It would definitely bolster my lineup, but at what cost? So I don't know if you could put a corner infielder in the middle infield. I especially with the way the secondaries work this year, I would consider it a risk. I'm not telling you not to. I'm actually asking you to do the recon for me and tell me how it goes. But I have a similar problem coming up when I go get that Willie Castro that came out, because that is going to be the best card in the game for the next 3 months. Well, best card in the game that's not a collection card. And 3 months is too long. Maybe like 6 weeks. That card's absurd. It's absolutely dummy stupid. I love Bobby Witt. And I want Bobby Witt to stay at short. So I'm going to try Willie Castro, at second base, even though it's not a secondary. But it is a middle infield position, as Castro is a primary shortstop. If that doesn't work great, I am then going to try Bobby Witt at second base, and Bobby Witt also does not have a secondary of second base. So we're going to play someone there at a position regardless and see how it goes. I think there are calculated risks you could take. If you guys saw my video last Friday, I put Carlos Santana at third base, and it went awfully. It was horseshit. Don't do that. I wouldn't put a corner infielder at shortstop unless they have a secondary there. But middle infield, center field, like think your more athletic positions, so to speak. Give them a try. They might work. They might not kill you. Just always have a defensive sub ready. That's my best advice, really. That, friends, is the 10-minute mailbag. Another edition of the books. I want to thank you guys all for the incredible, crazy, dummy support we've had. Really for like the last month, but ever since this game came out, the channel is reaching levels and consistency and viewership I never thought we'd get. So it's cool, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Seriously, it's really, really dope. But with that being said, leave your questions for next week down below or join the Discord. Some people have said the link doesn't work to the Discord, but others are joining it. So I guess try to refresh and click the link again if it doesn't work for you. I apologize if that's been your experience, but it's working for others. So keep trying. Join the Discord. Fun community. But that's it. All right. Love you guys. See you next time.